I like that little desk from the news anchor back and forth with the muted mic.
You don't know what we're saying.
Yeah, you have no idea what we're saying. Here you are, everybody. Welcome into BRV Shorts. Wade and Hayden with you, bringing you in the van for another crazy story that we found on the interwebs and that we want to talk about.
So excited to be here.
Yeah, man, this is a fun thing that we do. And you got it toasty warm up in here, up in the van.
It was snowing today, and we got the cast iron stove in the studio, and we toasty.
Yeah, I mean, legit, there's a big metal steel iron, probably, right? Pipe
Yes.
coming out the side of
Chimney,
the building.
as they'd call it.
Yeah, pipe, chimney, whatever you want to call it. Coming out the side of the building that's pumping out some legit fire smoke in here. This is great. You're short-sleeved.
This isn't propane. This is oak.
No, love it. And it smells good. I'm going to go home smelling like a man.
Oh,
you know.
yes. It's a beautiful smell.
Love it. Where you been?
None
of your damn business.
So did you spend some time in the snow? The snow today?
The 3/4 of an inch that we got, and it shut down all of the schools in the area.
Of course.
Yeah.
For all of you out there that don't know, we live in the South, and when snow comes, everybody panics.
Yeah, there's one plow for 3 counties. So, I mean, if you don't have one on the front of your truck with your winch.
I don't think we needed the plow today.
No. But it's frigid cold. But yes, I did get out in the snow. Thank you for asking. Our new house that we live in, we've got a nice steep grade of a hill that bottoms out before it goes to a creek. So it was
terrifying.
Very fun. It got your heart going every time. Literally, I thought that there was a chance that I could end up in the creek every time I went down if I didn't put my feet out right or if I didn't roll out. But it was good. The kids, Macy, those of you that might not know, my daughter's 5, my son is 3, and they both were loving it. Wanting to go head first if they could, but only one wreck. So
only one wreck.
It was good. Cole wasn't scared at all. He wanted to go down the fast. We had, you know how it goes. It ends up there's a fast lane. One that ends up going faster than every other one, and then there's a slower lane.
All the physics line up just right for this one.
And then if you're in the south in a real steep hill, a lot of times you're going to find the bumpy spots. You know, the one where there's the big dip in there that could launch you off your sled.
Oh yeah.
So we had one of those, and it caused a wreck for Macy.
Oh, those are the best.
It was fun.
We would like make one of those. Like we would gather the snow
with extra snow.
Oh yeah, and make it to where at the bottom there is one last,
to
launch you real good.
Thanks to global warming, there's not that much snow that we don't get it anymore. When we were kids, we did.
I know, man.
It's just that half a degree Celsius is killing us.
Every year that there's not one of those kinds of snows, I get a little deader inside.
I agree. But now think of the snow. It's all Super Bowl time, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So speaking of that, it's in Atlanta, the Super Bowl this year. Mm-hmm. Patriots and Rams. More on that in a second. But I remember when the city of Atlanta. Well, again, more on that in a second. When the city of Atlanta got like 1.5 inches of snow.
Oh my God!
It shut the whole city down. There's epic pictures on the webs that you can find of the interstates.
I've had to explain this, and I know you understand the difference here, but people are always like, why does everybody in the South panic whenever there's snow and ice? Because it's different down here. Okay, first of all, up north where it's that dry cold, it doesn't turn into the slick, ridiculous death like it does down here.
They would beg to differ, but you can continue with your point.
I'm just saying, dude, there's a big difference. That's why wind chills are always much lower down here in the South, because when it's thick, humid air, that
ice is ice.
Yeah, but still.
So we're just not used
snowballs.
To it. It's kind of like the same thing with having thick skin. You know, you get used to it up there.
I know. But it's still a little different.
Okay.
It's a little different.
I'll let you have that. It is a little different.
But no, I mean, like, for real, like, Atlanta, it shut down because it was only 1.5 inches, but it was 1.5 inches of, like, ice just on everything.
Yeah, and they literally shut down all of the interstates.
Like, you couldn't drive on it. Like you tried, and it was just like...
And it became the joke of the country.
Yeah.
You know, people in New York are just killing them over it. Mm-hmm. But the Super Bowl's down there. It's supposed to be bad weather this week. But we've got the Patriots and the Rams. And we should have the Patriots and the Saints.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And everybody knows it's been blown up to the point of a lawsuit that Saints fans are trying to bring against the NFL.
Because of, I wish I could remember how they quoted it. It's, oh my gosh, like something about their happiness. Like, a detriment to their happiness is like one
and
of
they're
the,
claiming
the
that
taglines.
they're doing it on behalf of the season ticket holders, claiming that because they have such a financial stake in the outcome of all of the games that they have a legal basis to sue them, and they do not. They cannot sue the NFL for the outcome of a game.
So is the reason, because obviously the solution to this would be able to review a pass interference, which you can't currently, right?
Correct.
So
correct. It's in the rule book.
The solution would be to include that into the rule book, right?
To include that into the challenge, possibly, to allow coaches to challenge something like that, to challenge a blown call or a call that they made that the coach doesn't like. But again, that's also getting into discretion. That's why they have referees and officials in the first place,
right?
And why they don't have yet.
But if
in
somebody
Major League
misses
Baseball,
something. Somebody misses something.
But that's the game is played by humans, which aren't perfect. The game is coached by humans, which aren't perfect.
True.
And it's officiated by humans, which aren't perfect. And the more that we tend to change that, the more we're going to go for a result that we're never going to be happy with. And I think
that's a fair point.
It's a lot like the idea of getting rid of umpires in baseball and calling balls and strikes digitally based on that strike zone thing you see on TV.
They could totally do it.
Well, they could do it on TV.
Yeah.
Shit, they do it that way. They could instantly tell ball or strike based on a digital strike zone based for each hitter.
With mathematical precision.
But that changes the game totally, 100%. And do we want that level of precision, or do we want the human element? Because with HD video and the ability to kill people over a slow motion frame-by-frame replay when they don't see it that way in live action, it's kind of trending that way in some sports.
Man, talk about if everything was just on, cameras, because like it already is. Like when they go to the instant replay, they've got 9 different camera angles at everything. Like how's to say they couldn't put that into a computer and to an algorithm that
they could just put digital sensors in everything,
spits out a foul or not.
Screw that. Screw that. Go ahead and put my bionic arm in and everything. So I've got a fun story for you tonight.
Oh man, yeah. Let's quit with the jibber jabber.
I don't really have a fun segue out of anything that we were talking about, but I think the Patriots will win. In case anyone was wondering, Tom Brady is going to his 9th Super Bowl 9 times.
God, that's so stupid.
9 times.
It's so stupid, dude. Like,
are you kidding me?
I can't even believe that they just are that consistent.
The dude goes to the Super Bowl like 40% of his career.
It's just stupid, dude.
Some people don't even start 40% of their career.
You should like. I need to give credit, but I'm just going to steal this joke. But like, it's literally just like the Patriots Invitational now.
Yes,
and everyone just kind of takes turns getting to come face the Patriots is really what's going down there.
Yeah, so it'll be fun. I think the Patriots will win. Tom Brady will ride off into the sunset. I think that'll be
or the Rams crush them into oblivion, and then everybody gets a real big excitement out of that.
I don't know. They got crushed last year by the Eagles. I don't think they do that this year.
Yeah, because the Rams really shouldn't be there in the first place. So
No. But I got a story about another animal.
Another animal.
I'm ready. We're trying to get
Speaking of Rams.
No, it's not a ram. It's going to be we'll say an aquatic animal.
All right.
Okay. I titled this story BFG.
BFG. I'm going to interject already.
Okay.
But
I haven't even gotten started, but please.
So the only other thing that I know of that goes by BFG, at least originally, was the big effing gun.
Yeah. What,
from
Doom?
Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then as an adult, even though it existed as I was a child, was the big friendly giant.
Yep, be the BFG.
And so scrolling through Netflix, and apparently BFG the big friendly giant is on Netflix, and I'm like, BFG? What? Like, and I literally thought it was going to be the big effing gun, and then I was like,
for Doom.
And I was like, what is this movie? So yes, I'm ignorant, but that's my BFG story.
Well, my BFG stands for best friend Gator.
Oh.
Okay.
Florida.
Slightly different. No, actually. Not Florida.
I'm very disappointed.
So here we are with
Louisiana.
The story. No.
Oh, damn it. All right, I give up.
The story of Joey Henney of York, Pennsylvania.
Left field.
who can
Left field, dude.
who can be seen walking around Glatfelter Community Center with an unusual friend on a
A
leash.
gator.
Joey's a self-proclaimed adrenaline junkie, and he says he's also not a dog or a cat person.
Why would you be?
He has effectively become best friends with a 4.5-foot alligator named Wally.
4.5 feet.
That's just right now. Wally's still a baby, okay?
That's like 1.3 meters, dude.
Always around reptiles as a child, his best friend growing up owned a gaboon viper, one of the most deadly, like poisonous
I'm aware.
snakes in the world,
Oh my god.
which Joey would routinely handle out of its cage and just say to his buddy, you know, if we get bit, we gonna die.
Oh my god.
Okay, this is,
Like, I don't fear snakes, but I fear those kinds of snakes.
quote, I'm not normal, Joey says often, and I've always been fond of gators. He and a friend were involved in gator rescues in the past, and a lot of people,
Which I'm pro.
yeah, I'm pro that, but a lot of them buy gators as pets and release them, not realizing how big they're going to get, and they release them into the wild.
Mm-hmm.
Thus, the need for these gator rescues.
Of course.
Thus,
Some lady. Oh my god. I'm going to interject one more time.
Good, because I'm taking a side road too. Thank you.
Have you seen this YouTube video of this? I mean, it's a horrible video. It's of a dog getting eaten by a gator.
I have not.
Okay, that's the summation of the story. But these clearly redneck folks, and I'm going to go ahead and assume it's in Florida, but basically there's a gator, up on the bank behind their house or wherever they are, and they're all like yelling at it, like trying to shoo it away, and then out of the nowhere, this cocker spaniel that's like, I guess the lady in the background yelling, it's hers, and it comes running like and it gets this gator to shoo off. Okay, so it wins, and they're like, yeah, like get that damn gator, dog, and they're all excited about it, and so the gator comes back again, and they keep sticking the dog after the gator, and then after a couple tries, the gator says, you know what, and then just drags the dog back out, and it's horrifying, dude. And then you just hear this lady in the background that's like, I mean, her name has to be like Gina or something, and she's just like, no. And I'm just
She sent her dog into the jaws of a gator.
Let me be very clear. It's horrifying, and I would never want that to ever happen to any dog ever. And I love my dogs, but you damn deserve your dog to get eaten by a gator if you're sicking your dog after a gator.
I would say that's a fair statement.
I was just like, what the hell are y'all doing? That gator's gonna eat your dog. And then the gator eats the dog, and I'm just like,
at some point, he's going to realize
Darwinism,
that dog,
dude.
Yeah. It shouldn't have been the dog.
It shouldn't have been the dog. That poor dog. I mean, that poor dog. But I mean, what are you thinking?
Should not have been the dog.
No.
So my story doesn't have to do with a gator at all, but it's about releasing reptiles into the wild because they get too big.
Okay.
So I believe on our podcast, which we haven't plugged yet. By the way, we do have a podcast. It's called The Big Red Van.
We're also going to share these on that podcast now,
Yeah.
so you can listen in both places.
Yeah. So have you heard?
Have you heard?
If you haven't heard. Anyway, it's of the story where I went golfing and I saw what I thought was a Komodo dragon.
Oh, yeah. I remember this.
So I'm on this redneckized golf course that's next to the Tennessee River, and I am on hole like 4, I think it is, and literally not even 20 yards, the tee box to the river. So
Komodo dragon.
I tee off, and I'm by myself. Of course, I'm by myself. And I get in my cart, and I go driving down the cart path, and I see what I thought was a dog, like a mid-sized dog that was off in the distance that's sitting next to some bushes that lead down to the water.
Okay.
And it was facing towards the fairway. Not looking at me, just kind of facing away from the water.
All right.
And as I get closer, I see it kind of like whip around. So as it's facing straight ahead and it whips towards the left, I suppose, away from me, and its back and its butt come toward me, and I see this big ass tail come behind it. I know what I saw. Okay, this big giant tail comes behind it, and then it darts down the water, darts down the hill, and jumps into the water. Before I can get up there, it was gone, and I never saw anything.
Okay,
so I'm like flipping out, and from that point on,
it's like a Bigfoot sighting right now.
I swear that I saw like the neck beard that they have, you know, the extra turkey neck that lizard neck that they have, and I swear I saw. I know what colors it was, so I started immediately looking up pictures online, and I'm like, yeah, no, that looks like what it was, and it was this big giant iguana. So, and it very well could have been a pet.
Yeah, people totally do the same exact thing with gators that you talked about with iguanas.
Yes,
happens a lot because you can just put those suckers in a tree, and they'll just go do their thing, and they'll probably die when the winter comes around, and that's sad, but they might live.
Well, Joey and his buddy decided that they were going to go try to find gators that were that kind of gator, right? So they go rescue him, and his buddy looks at him one day and is like, hey, man, you want one? And it's like, of course, it's a rhetorical question.
Rhetorical, Joey.
Rhetorical. So in September of 2015, Wally made it home with Joey. So at first, Wally was afraid of everything, just like a new puppy might be, right? He snapped at everything with his gator jaws.
Sounds very gator-like.
And he was, quote, adjusting to a house instead of a swamp. So you might
gotta house break your gator.
You got to swamp break your gator. Wally had territorial instincts and cleared out a kitchen cupboard and made it his own domain.
A kitchen cupboard.
Yeah.
So this bottom rack is mine.
Yeah, he just knocked all that Tupperware and those pots and pans and shit out, and that was his, right? 4.5-foot gator. So,
well, this is probably young. This is young Wally, right?
He had to feed Wally with tongs at first because, quote, otherwise giving him a snack of raw chicken could result in loss of digits.
It's like those people that play with the mouth open gators and like touch their mouth and stupid shit like that. I'm like,
stupid people.
Get your hand away from that thing.
Joey would pick him up, comfort Wally when he was scared, and after a while he became domesticated. But Joey would often say, quote, he's still a wild animal and at any time could rip my arms off.
I admit I saw a headline for this story, and I want to say it was like the Huffington Post.
So let me tell you, I read 3 different versions of this story.
Okay, I assume you did.
One of them was very bland and dry and didn't give any of this information. When I stumbled across this version of it, I was like, I hit gold.
But the clickbait of this story was of the guy like laid back in a recliner with a. I didn't realize it was 4.5 feet long, but what seemed like a fairly large gator just like laying off on his chest, like you would hold.
What the fuck was that?
You'd hold like a baby puppy or something like that. You know what I mean? Like cuddling it like this, and he's like laid back in a recliner with a gator across his chest.
Yeah, that was probably Baby Wally.
Baby Wally.
That's probably what that was. But the story doesn't end there with Wally just being domesticated.
Oh.
Wally has a gator friend inside the house.
He's got 2 gators.
Scrappy.
A
2-year-old.
Like Scrappy-Doo?
A 2-year-old, slightly smaller gator.
Raggy.
Lives with Wally in a 300-gallon pond that Joey built in his living room.
300 gallons ain't that big.
In his living room.
Are we talking like 60s style with the sunken living room, and then you've got like the gator area?
He said pond.
300 gallons is small.
Not a pool, a pond.
But
you would think that it would be sunken in like that.
Wouldn't that be badass,
where they could
though?
just like slither in and slither out?
Dude, imagine if you were that dude in the 60s with the sunken living room apartment that was badass, like everybody wanted.
And you just turned it into your gator pond.
And you had a gator pond in the corner that you're like, this motherfucking gator over there.
Mm-hmm. And it would always be motherfucking gator. That's my motherfucking gator. That's That's how you introduced your gator. But can you guess what Scrappy and Wally's favorite TV shows are?
Ellen.
Maybe favorite movie? Ellen? No. The TV shows are pretty obvious.
Planet Earth.
No. You're in the right. Gator Guys.
Gator Guys.
Swamp Boys.
Oh. Oh, that sounds. That's like horror for them.
Yeah, I guess.
Isn't that the one where they hunt gators?
I think so.
And they like kill them for
Yeah.
their pelts and
They
stuff.
definitely hunt gators in that one.
Yeah, that's got to be like
Hog time and
some,
shit.
some body horror.
Yeah.
For gators.
So his favorite movie is The Lion King. Wally watches The Lion King all the way through, and
It's a good movie.
will not budge at all the whole time. Is what Joey says. And then he gets a frozen rat snack at the end.
Oh my God! Just could you imagine if that's real? If you were to turn on the Lion King and then a gator would just be like,
No,
just zone out for an hour and like an hour and a half.
That would be awesome.
Those cartoon animals really get him going.
Everything the light touches. Wally could eventually top out at 15 feet
Oh yeah,
and live to be 55 to 80 years old.
yeah.
So Joey's got a lifelong companion. Joey and Wally go to schools, community centers, hospitals to cheer up kids, right? So this gave him the idea. This was when Wally was a pet. Like his old friends like, you want one? That was just when he wanted Wally as a pet, right? But taking him to schools, community centers, and hospitals, and this is where the clickbait for me kind of started to make sense, because the way they titled the article was Emotional Support Gator, right? And I'm thinking, what the hell? But then I get to reading it, and I'm like, okay, he got the idea to make him an emotional support animal after he was his pet. And this is where he got it. So he would take him to community centers. Everyone in the area loved the fact that he had his pet gator. So he would cheer up kids, and he found that it helped kids that had Tourette syndrome in the hospital to be able to chill out and all of that. So
Because you better chill out around a gator.
like, I guess, like, it was pretty
Like-
easy, right?
Like no sudden movements. You're just like,
Yeah, you cuss my gator out, it's over. Like, arm gone, toes no more.
that'll chill you out.
So it gave him the idea to classify Wally as a service animal. So it ended with the emotional support designation, just like donkeys, skunks, ferrets, animals like that can be emotional support animals. All you got to do is go online and register it. Boom, done. You got you an emotional support animal.
Doing it.
Okay? So under law,
I'm getting me an emotional support goat, and I'm bringing that thing to work.
emotional support goat. There you go. Done. Under law, most states, only dogs and what is most often miniature horses can be, quote, service animals.
You can have a mini horse as a service animal?
Mm-hmm. They're smart, dude.
Little Sebastian, dude.
Yeah, they're Sebastian. So now it's Wally the emotional support gator who goes on tours to Cabela's, Bass Pro Shops,
Hell yeah.
Lowe's, and Home Depot. So, I mean, Joey is all about this gator. He's quoted as saying on all these tours, cats have killed more people than gators. Most often when gators attack humans, it's because the human attacked first.
He may let that gator run, like, you know, free in his house or whatever, or in his little 300-gallon pond. But I'm pretty sure that whenever he does these little meet and greets, it's
No,
probably,
dude, he's talking about when you pet him on top of the head, he closes his eyes like a cat.
They probably tape its mouth, is what I'm saying. So he's
Oh.
like not going to be able to rip someone's arm off regardless.
You're in America, so you're probably right.
But because I mean, I'd go pet a gator any day if its mouth was taped shut.
So I'm sure you've heard the phrase before. Have you ever eaten gator?
Yeah, it's like it's gamey, but it's like fried chicken. That's
Thank
how I've
you
always
so
had
much,
it.
Hayden. This is why we are podcast connected. Thank you
I mean,
so
we're
much.
Vol fans, so I mean, if you haven't gone to a tailgate where you haven't had fried gator before, then I don't know.
Dude, there's restaurants around here that serve gator year round
Yeah.
just because of that.
Of course.
Because people have had it. So that's how I've had it.
Mhm.
I've had gator bites as an appetizer
Yep.
at a restaurant before.
Mhm.
I was like, I'll try it. Shit's delicious.
Yeah, it's
And
a little
it-
gamey. You can tell that it's an aquatic-y flavor,
But
but
it
it tastes like
tastes
fried chicken.
like chicken.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Joey heard somebody say at one of these events. He was holding the gator,
Mhm.
Wally, and over here somebody say, I bet that gator tastes like chicken. And so he was quoted as saying something like, you don't hear me saying what somebody's cat might taste like. So he's rather sensitive about Wally, but hell, he built a pond for him in his living room. So
Hell yeah.
that makes sense. So that's Wally the emotional support gator with Joey in York, Pennsylvania. That was good stuff.
Oh man. Oh man.
So you can get yourself an emotional support animal, and it can be anything. Hayden's getting a goat. What are you getting? At the Big Red Van Podcast at gmail.com. Please let me know what kind of emotional support animal that you want. So, do we have any more pluggables we got to plug?
Follow us, subscribe to this video, of course, if you like silly talk show, podcast, vlog, whatever you call these things these days. We just do it. But at the Big Red Van Pod on all of them.
Yeah.
And shoot us an email at the Big Red Van Podcast at gmail.com. That's a thing.
It is a thing. Gmail is a thing.
But yeah, so.
Yeah, I've heard of it. And I want to say one more thing. I want to say a big thank you to a lot of support and outreach that I have gotten. Those of you that know me personally or follow on the social media platforms know what my wife is going through. She was diagnosed with breast cancer, and we've recently been through a lot with that. So I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who has reached out. We do have a GoFundMe that was set up, and everyone that has donated to that has helped us reach all of our goals. If there's any more information that anyone wants to get about how you can help out, we have T-shirts, so we have those kinds of things. But it's also something that I'm very humble to even talk about. It's crazy what life does to you. It happens without you really asking it to. But you just keep moving forward. I'm learning something from my wife every day with strength and how you just put one foot in front of the other. So it's been a crazy journey, but we're very thankful that we have a lot of support to get ourselves through it, because I don't know that we could without it.
Yeah, so we'll add the links to that GoFundMe if you wanna pitch in. I know Wade's the last person to ask anybody for anything, so I'm gonna tell you guys to help him out if you can. So, but yeah, it's an awful tragedy, man, and but we're gonna support you with everything. And Steph's a strong lady, so
we're gonna get through it. She's amazing. She's definitely my better half, and that's something that's the truth. So we'll get through it, and I appreciate that. Everybody, thank you for watching this. Come check out our podcast, and we for sure will catch you on the next one.